Alright. What's up, everybody? We've got Clem in the bottom left-hand side of a big match from last month. That's right. It's a HomeStory Cup match that I didn't get around to cast, and yet it's been high on my list because it's meant to be a banger. He's up against Zoun, representing Alpha Rex. So Team Liquid Clem versus Alpha Rex Zoun. And Zoun actually checked over here for a proxy barracks at the start, and now over here, and is going for a low ground gate. Exceptionally safe play for Zoun, who is planning some form of aggression. I believe this is to rally an early Zealot across the map into a couple of Adepts. And to do that, usually you'd see Cybercore before Nexus. The question is, do we also see Pylon before Nexus? I don't think so. Usually it's like, I think he'll rally this probe to the natural in a moment, or he'll pull one off minerals, because you got to start that the moment the gateway finishes. And you got to pull it down right now, buddy. Zoun, whoa, crazy build order. Okay, there we go. Does he time this out perfectly? I thought he was going to build it in the wall, but does pull that probe a few seconds late. And no Zealot either. Okay, so he's going to go Cybercore, then Nexus, then Zealot, then Pylon. Interesting build order here for Zoun. Now, for those who don't know, Clem is the hope of European Terrans. Hero Marine has also come up there, I think. It was years of Clem hype. And I think Hero Marine's the one who kind of silently and slowly came up and actually started outperforming him in many ways. And people are, still kind of waiting for Clem to show that absolute dominance. Where people are like, he's just not that good. I hear this from fans and viewers a lot. I'm like, Clem's just not that good. And I'm like, guys, what are you talking about? He is like 4 or 5 time European champion at this point. People go, yeah, but he just doesn't do as well at the bigger tournaments. You're right. He often goes out in about the top 8. Now, that of course, isn't as amazing. Whereas winning Europe over Cyril and Raynor, Max Pax, Hero Marine, Showtime, these guys, Lambo, it's incredible. Hell, he even beats Harston. And if that doesn't mean he's a god of the game, then I don't know what does. So, honestly, Clem is a monster in the European scene. But I really feel like there is people who only watch the biggest of the biggest tournaments and not the Europeans, and they're kind of going, he's overrated. People hype him up too much. It's not like they're saying he's bad, but more that he's overrated. And I would agree that we did get very excited for him, but we need to really put the asterisk next to Clem's name, and that is Korean Protosses have been a massive obstacle for him. And not just that, but more recently the Terrans as well, because Bian, Bunny, Maru are all butchering the European Zergs. Maybe not butchering, but at least taking them out about half the time recently, right? We've seen, it used to just be Maru was the one Terran that would get through, and he would always cause Clem problems the few times they would run into each other. But now there's also lots of other Terrans. But his initial issue was always Zest, Zoun, these sorts of guys doing tricky build orders would catch him off guard. And Clem likes to play a very stable style. If you let Clem just get in his comfort zone and play a very consistent style, he'll beat you off raw mechanics. I don't ever see him as being a genius of strategy, though. And that's no hate on the player. I think he's fantastic. I just don't think he ever has that next level read on what his opponent's going to do. To me, it feels like when Clem picks his openings, he has a sort of randomizer. He just picks a build that's good for the map, mixes it up to stay unpredictable, but he's not really looking into the matrix and going, ooh, I know what you're going to do before you're going to do it, and I'm going to be 2 steps ahead and counter you. And the Korean Protosses, on the other hand, they know that once he gets past his varied openings, he's very predictable. They will try to surprise him with some nasty moves. And that's where Clem sometimes gets caught out and gets surprised by these opponents. Now, if they play very standard games, I think he's basically second to no Terran in the world. I still think Clem is the best mechanical Terran player in the world. I think he has better micro and multitasking than just about everybody. But you've got those delicious, tight, aggressive attacks of Beyond. You've got Maru's god tier macro. Clem has not shown that he can go to that stage. Let's see if he can change the story here. The Reaper tries to distract. He gets the Adept in, or the Widow Mine in, but mining time in 1 probe. Talk about pristine defense for Zoun. Now, Zoun's on 3 gate right now, so he's doing a very safe kind of in-between build. His third is not that fast because he's doing this, but he can go across the map with a nice little pressure. And he's actually going to go 2 base Colossus afterwards. 3rd gas, Robo Bay. Interesting build for Zoun. So he's going to do some sort of medium Stalker pressure and go from there. Now that tank covers a lot, but it's very exposed if the Stalkers blink up there. We'll see what he can do with it. Raven, 2nd tank on the way. 2nd and 3rd barracks are both about to finish. And we see Zoun now looking for that 3rd base on the left side. So Zoun's up a very, it's a small yet healthy worker lead, but with his third being so late, he's definitely not continuing that, and that's why he needs more damage. The Stalker's going to come in. That's enough to one-shot SCV. Siege Tank pops at a pretty good time. Gets 3 workers there. Not too bad. Warp Prism is a little far away, but does save all 4 Stalkers. Third Nexus goes down for Zoun. And Zoun will be able to saturate this cast here as well, of course. Alpha X have been supporting Zoun for a long time. I know they have like coaching staff and all sorts of like work they do with the players to study the opponents and break down their strategies. So if you're ever going into a series, I don't know how Team Liquid do it. I know they have pretty good player resources, but I kind of get the idea that Clem just does his thing going into series, whereas Zoun often comes in with really special adjustments on his builds to counter his opponents. And that's going to be interesting. Stalkers do get shot by that tank. Great tank coverage. Notice how both of these tanks are covering pretty much everything, but they're also really deep so that it's hard to get at them with Blink Stalkers without taking multiple tank shots. On the other hand, Zoun has great observer vision. The third is up. He's probing nonstop, and the first Colossus hits the field. He's also going up in that gateway count really nicely. So he's going to go up to about, is that 8 gate? Yeah, 8 gate charge Colossus off of the back of these 8 Blink Stalkers. Not a single sentry on the field, no forge. And I wonder if he's going to do a big timing. Ooh, sneaky Widowmine drop comes in, gets 4 probes. Nicely done by Zoun. By Clem, sorry. And third command center goes down. Clem playing exceptionally safe. He really is turtling up. He's seen 4 gases and a delayed third, so he knows it's a Colossus play. Interesting. Gonna move forward. Oh, the observer gets out of there. Oh, Zoun even sets up. He's got to get out. Get out. Stalkers do take out a Marine and pull back. If we can get rid of the Raven, that would be massive. 2 Colossus, of course, are going to be very big targets for the interference matrix. This is old patch, remember. So Raven is a much more expensive unit, slower to build. It's a bigger investment. You don't want to be losing it. Disruptors on the way here for Zoun. Clem's coming back in. That Widowmine drop being a nuisance goes right past the Stalkers into the main base. Zoun is going to be very annoyed by this. He's got a micro against that and try to slow this push down. This is allowing Clem to get position. Zoun way too distracted. He loses 2 probes there. And over on the left side, coming on in, does get in front of the shield battery. Oh, okay, very important that he gets in front of that battery. Tank and Marauders on the right side, derping out a little bit. Oh, you do not want to be losing that tank. And I think he gets it to safety just barely, especially if the medevac comes forward. No, he doesn't boost the medevac to pick it up. Misses an opportunity. And that's because he's lost 8 SCVs to a Zealot Warping in the main base. Zoun quickly backs away there. The Colossus getting some good hits off. Double interference matrix on the Colossus. Oh no, Zoun. Got to make sure those Colossus don't stumble into their death. Get him out, Zoun! No, Zoun! With some miscontrol. Remember, this is all played on land. No lag excuses here, guys. He does lose a Colossus, but he cleans the push-up. He did some worker damage. Clem's going to be forced back for now. His third command center is done, though, so the supply is still very even. That Forge did squeeze in behind all of this, so +1 attacks on the way. Stalkers right now hunting for drops. The lack of map vision is what's hurting Zoun the most. Now, look at that. He's going to drop it. There's only about 4 Marines in there, though, so not going to be able to do any damage. And it's got to be tempting to queue up a Viking on this. It's got to be tempting to queue a Viking on that Star Fort. Clem not caving yet, though. He says, no. Just bio medevacs, get me +1 armor. Go for all that stuff. I'll leave a few Marines and Marauders in the main just to make it a bit scary for him to fly that prison in. And swapping into a bit more of a defensive stance now. He's kept the Raven alive as well, which is going to be very useful as the game goes on. Now, interestingly, Zoun, I was going to say, is only on 1 Colossus, but he does rebuild a Colossus here. And he's going 2nd Robo and Templar Archives, ready to add Archons in the mix. Viking count is building, though. And that's going to be very effective at dealing with the Colossus. EMP, very good for dealing with the Archons. Feels like an even game. I don't really know who's going to be able to win here. I think map control is a very important thing. So if you can start sending some drops around to clean up that'd be great. If the Raven could catch the Observer, that would be huge. Because every second of Robo production is massive. Still only on 4 gases Zoun. Now, this is a style a lot of players like to play. They just stay single forge. And they say, look, it's more important to get more minerals so I can just make tons of Zealots to tank for my army. Great recall for the Warp Prism. So he's gonna stay 4 gas. This is a style like SOS would never go past 4 gas single forge. Just get attack upgrades and just make a billion Zealots so you can jump on their army. And if you ever catch the Terran out of position, you can ruin his day. 2 Widowmines do come in there. Armory is not done, remember. So those reveal themselves the moment they fire. Only losing 3 probes, not too bad for Zoun. Zoun's economy is pretty low overall, though. And nice burrow, unburrow, but oh, he's gonna burrow it. And the Stalkers are gonna potentially, yeah, there we go. Finally deals with that. I feel like the Widowmine drops have just been more of a nuisance. They haven't done big direct damage, but it's slowing down Zoun, keeping him busy. And now this attack comes down the left, gets a cannon. It's going to take out a battery as well. Widowmine decides to kill a Marauder. Not the smartest Widowmine maneuver. It's going to click the Nexus, but I think much smarter to just run away here. He will let those Widowmines go down. Armory and 4th Command Center are on the way. And this is exactly how Clem plays PvT. He likes to take a 4th, get ghosts, round out his army, and just keep expanding, keep harassing, keep doing this sort of kiting maneuver to get efficient trades. But in this game, Zoun is actually the one who's 800 resources more efficient. He's also got Zealots ready to attack the left side. Plenty of units are there and ready. Clem needs to pull everything to the front right now. He's getting jumped on. He's got to be careful, man. The Raven! Anti-armor missile does get down all over those Stalkers. Vikings coming forward is going to be massive. The Raven does get a Matrix off. Nice Raven Matrix, but there's balls here as well. Zoun has some of the best balls in the game. Gets only a few Marines and Marauders, and he loses one of those, though. Good spreadies from Clem to minimize the damage. And there we go. One of the Colossus does go down. Attacking across the bridge is dangerous into the Colossus, but there's just no meat left for it. Yeah, Zoun was hoping that splash damage would scare back Clem, but it wasn't able to. And the slow warp in Zealots off of this pylon in the bottom right, or actually it's a warp prism, sorry. But nonetheless, that warp in wasn't good enough. Oh, he gets a good shot there. Disruptor does at least make Clem pay a price for that one. Behind it, Disruptors and +2 are pumping out. There's a problem though. The European Protosses have talked about this for years, and they've always said Disruptors are worthless against Clem. His micro is too good. He won't let them land in any meaningful way. Unless you're playing him online, he's got some lag or something, or he's really half asleep, he won't let them land until you get your 9th Disruptor. So this is they say it kind of tongue-in-cheek, but they actually, when you ask them if they're serious, they say 100% yes. They say you can have 5 or 6 Disruptors, you're not going to land a single one, and he's just going to dance around them and overwhelm you. And right now, we're only at 3 Disruptors with a 4th one coming out. A 2nd Forge is building, but the 1st Forge isn't even being used, and there's no gas to use it anyway. And that Prism, it goes down with 2 Zealots inside. A great catch for Clem. Obviously, Clem's ahead on the army. With no Colossus out, I mean, you don't want to build Colossus because there's 5 Vikings on the field. But he's only got a few Disruptors. He's starved for gas. He's got a couple of Stalkers, a Sentry for Guardian Shield, 1 Arc on a few Zealots. EMP obliterates this army, and Clem is just a bit too far ahead now. I think Zoun was a bit too distracted by all the Widow Mines in this one. And look at this. Yeah, it feels like even here the Zealot attack is kind of just spotted ahead of time and whittled down a little bit. You do not want Widow Mines to shoot your SCVs here. Don't use Widow Mines to defend SCVs from run-bys, guys. It's not a good move. Does end up sniping those Zealots, though. 5th base is up for Zoun. Zoun's still only on 4 gas. He's just got a 2nd Forge, but like I said, he doesn't have enough gas to pump double Disruptor and double upgrades. Stalkers intercept the Vikings. He gets a couple of Ghosts, 1 or 2 Vikings. Okay. Hey, that was a good shot. Okay. Eat your words, European silly boys, says Zoun. I'm one of the best ball throwers in the game. Viking Marine Marauder coming forward, gets another few Marines, but the Disruptors are empty. 10 seconds with no Disruptors able to fire. Clem's going to look to punish this army. He gets one of them. The Disruptor's about to come off cooldown, but oh my god, the Widow Mine from behind! Snipes taking out the Zealots. The Disruptor's getting hammered, and Clem here just doing so well. He eats a giant shot to the face. He is, of course, microing a Widow Mine drop in the top left. That is why I don't think it matters, though. Even though he ate those Disruptors, kind of putting to rest that silly tale about 8 Disruptors being the minimum to actually find any damage versus him. He does still find great economic damage. A little surrounded here. Flanking Disruptors come out of nowhere. Stalker blinks forward, but unfortunately they take out the empty medevac, not the full one. So much more behind that, though. He's got so much more. Zoun forgot to wear his box today. Does not have that protection there. And as a result, that Disruptor does get taken down. He's down at half the army supply, and they're worse units. There's just no way out of this scenario. Clem is far ahead. I like the fact that he just keeps the activity rate up on these Widow Mine drops. That is very well done, man. Look at that. He's just going to keep dropping Widow Mines in all the mineral lines, and especially if the cannon doesn't spot that one on the right, that's really annoying to deal with. He just can't get rid of it till he sends an observer there. Disruptor's trying to zone this army. He's already had to stem once, but he gets a few Zealots there pretty much for free. I think a Widow Mine went down. And Observer sees him, though. This Observer really helping Zoun. 2 Marauders and a Marine. Gets rid of another Widow Mine. Oh, man. Zoun really has great micro. I love watching it. I'm just not sure if it's going to do all that much. The Widow Mine over there is going to get another shot off on those probes eventually. Clem's almost maxed. Clem has a 5th base up. That is a huge problem. Zealot run-bys are stumbling in and getting themselves killed. There's just too many units on the map. 4 more probes died on the right side. Zealot Stalker coming on in. Clem just picks up, pulls it back. He actually probably could have stood his ground and fought that. Remember, he's on 2-2 versus 2-1 upgrades. Colossus are trying to get added back in, which is a good idea when your opponent exhausts their Vikings and uses those by landing them. Oh, he comes in and he takes it. Battery overcharge and 4 disruptor shots. Apparently too much there. Clem bit off more than he could chew. Oh my god. That was not good for Clem, man. That was a lot of army he just threw away. Zoun might magically be back in this game. That was way too confident for Clem, and he has not got his timing and his judgment down against those disruptors today. The European Protoss players are going to have to eat their words after watching this game, because apparently under pressure, if you can put him under enough pressure, Clem will occasionally misjudge. He's still got a very scary army. There's no disruptors ready here. Trying to pump out the disruptors, trying to get that count back up is Zoun. Stalker's even blinking forward. The Zealots can't get in on top of this. Oh man, I don't really know. Can he hold on? The disruptor can recharge, maybe, but that disruptor's open. Flanking disruptor from the left, maybe, but no, it stumbles in and immediately gets stomped on. The Zealots need to pull back from this one. Zoun is pretty similar in the units lost tab, gets a few Widow Mines, forces Clem back momentarily. He's going to try and protect that disruptor, which is a good move. You're keeping Clem permanently stimmed. He's only got 7 medevacs, which, while a good number, it can't allow him to just constantly do this. He can't stim for the entire game, or the medevacs will run out of juice. And he is still up in supply, and I would say he's still ahead, but Zoun is kind of making it dicey for him. 5 base Terran on 8 barracks, though. It's a lot of production. Vikings starting to come in to help deal with that Colossus as well. And you can see his dodges are good. The disruptors, whenever those disruptors are empty. Oh no, and he's even got Widow Mines behind the army. Dude, just an absolute dearth of detection vision on the map for Zoun. He can't even deal with these Widow Mines. Another Widow Mine's going to fire in a second, and that's a problem, man. Viking bio there. We've got run-bys trying to hit that left side. I think DTs would be really nice here in this scrappy situation. Catches quite a bit of Clem's army. The Widow Mines get some big juicies on the Zealots. Another one behind the bridge is going to get cleared up by that disruptor, though. Zoun is getting a forward position and doing it very well. He's on a low supply. He's on a scrappy budget. And another Widow Mine gets another kill. The Widow Mines are just such a problem for him right now. Clem comes around the far left and the bottom at the same time. He's looking to encircle this army. He wants to force that favorable fight. The Vikings raining down death on that Colossus. Gets a good disruptor shot on a few Marauders and Marines, but all of his disruptors are forfeit for that. And that is, of course, very scary. His disruptors still rallying in and getting blasted by these Widow Mines. It's such a big problem. These Widow Mines! He doesn't have a single observer. He needs to build an observer. You can't use disruptors to clean up all of them. I mean, this is the value of putting Widow Mines all over the map. If you keep killing their observers, it's so annoying for Protoss to deal with. And remember, a single reacted factory can build 6 Widow Mines a minute, which is absolutely insane. So these Widow Mines, remember, they also do bonus damage to Protoss. They do plus 25 to shields with the splash, plus 35 to shields with the primary target. So they do bonus anti-Protoss damage. The Widow Mine is the anti-Protoss unit of choice. The Widow Mine is the big boy that almost always gets great value for its cost and tech investment. Behind it, Fusion Core does go down. I think this is actually a frustrating game for Clem because he was so far ahead, business as usual, and then he ate those big disruptor shots and he finds himself in an advantage situation, but it should have been already over in his favor. And that is annoying. It gives Zoun hope. Zoun's like going to look back at this game and go, oh, I lost. Then he's going to go, wait, I was dead like 10 minutes earlier than I actually died. Like that's promising. That looks pretty good for me. Fortunately, I think another Colossus just went down there. Only one Colossus standing right now. The Vikings doing their job. Disruptors. Oh, he gets a few big balls again. Clem taking some big hits to the face, but a big army on the right is going to run in. That's going to take that base out. Looks like these disruptors are doing some good damage. No planetary on that left side either. Disruptors trying to defend on the right, not able to land the connects. Zealot Stalker coming forward. Battery overcharge goes down. One of the disruptors falls. The second one falls. Picks up. He's going to boost into the main base. Army's going to shove the left side at the same time. That's the standard way to do it. But actually, looking a bit more defensive right now is Clem. He's being held back. Zoun's like, hey, I'm on 5 bases. Maybe I can remax. His +2 armor finished. His +3 attack is about to kick in. He's getting the upgrades a little bit closer. From down 3 upgrades, he's now down 2. Soon to be only down 1 upgrade. And disruptor shots going forwards. The Bio Viking pulling back, trying to bait out those shots and avoid them. Clem is kind of on the defensive right now. You don't want to get too many units all balled up. Advanced ballistics isn't done yet. Disruptors can siege you from there. Didn't want to siege his libs too far forward. EMP in the middle of that Zealots would be great. The Ghosts have a decent amount of EMPs available. Sensor Tower goes down. Trying to move forward. It looks like he's looking for a flank on the right side. It's not a giant flank, but when you've got 7 Marauders, that's going to be pretty healthy, man. Especially if they get in contact with the Colossus. Observer does see that flank coming forward. Zoun knows about it. He's going to bring his army back all together as well. Clem, he's got a lot of money. He feels like he's trying to force the issue, though. Let's see how well he dodges versus these Disruptor shots, especially with the flank coming in from that other side. These Disruptors doing what they can, trying to shave this army down. And Zoun looks like he's going to go for it. He's actually going to blink forward here. Clem being pushed back for now. He saved most of the important units. Oh, the Disruptors came a bit too far forward. Bit of a mistake there for Zoun. But Clem's going to take big losses on the tail end of this, especially with the Stalkers blinking forward. Zoun doesn't have nearly as much bank, though. Remember, Clem is a rich boy, and these fights might be good enough for him. Dude, it's still surprisingly close with the Stalkers taking out the libs. The Disruptors pushing forwards. Another lib goes down. If Zoun finds a way to win this game, this will be an epic comeback for the ages. Yes, it all came off one big Disruptor shot, but you know what? Clem has got to be frustrated. He's going to lose control of his 6th base. It's back to 5 base versus 5 base. The command center goes down. Zoun is throwing balls like mad, and he's really testing that dodgeball, aura of invincibility that Clem has built for himself in the European scene. Up to 8 Disruptors, 2 more building. That's the magic amount of Disruptors, apparently. You're just spamming those Disruptors forward. As the Terran, you should be splitting your army. You don't want to have a maxed out army in one area. It's better to always keep your army split against heavy Disruptor, because the Disruptors, otherwise, they can just all throw the Disruptors one at a time in a single direction, and it forces your whole army to stim and spread for a single unit shot, right? Which is just, it's ridiculous. Lib range does come in. That's going to be some very nice harassment in the top side of the map. Lots of probes going down, 3 probes. Also, Widowmines continuing to take out Disruptors and damage and bruise them and soften them up for the future. Clem does see this army come forwards. Wouldn't mind an EMP on those Disruptors. It'd be nice. Give him the opportunity, potentially. He's just going to send a few Marines and Marauders forward. Nice spready. And he's going to take out 1 or 2 Disruptors. There's a planetary in the bottom right. You don't want to get wedged on that planetary, Zoun. I think Zoun's going too deep. Zoun should pull back out of here. Zoun is going after the planetary. The Mad Lad is going to use the Disruptors to stop the repair. He does get it. Oh, the flanking Disruptors actually hold Clem back. He gets the planetary. If he can get that orbital as well, this could be the big win he needs. He's got 1 Disruptor off cooldown. He gets the orbital. He just took out 2 command centers. And he gets a giant ball on Clem. But Clem is pushing the top left at the same time. He does take out the 5th base of Zoun. Zoun's trying to take a 6th here. We've got range libs and Widowmines doing what they can. Zoun is making amazing plays to get back in this game. Clem is mad. He's got to be kicking himself in this scenario. He should have won this game at about the 11-minute mark, and now he finds himself in a scrappy all-out war. Luckily for him, he was so far ahead that he's still up 50 army supply. But the upgrades have come close to even. +3 armor now kicks in for the Protoss. Zoun's units have been trailing in those upgrades all game long. He's now going to start a Stargate. The problem for him is there's 12 range libs on the map. And he doesn't really have an answer, except being aggressive. And when you're this out-supplied, being aggressive is a really crap answer. Looks like more probes going down on that right side. That Liberator still causing issues over there. EMP, Stim, Bio, take out the Archon. Zoun needs to get down here. Oh man, Zoun does not have a lot of income right now. Let's look at that income tab. Stalkers blinking forward. A few of them get EMP'd and taken out. Let's look at that income graph. Oh my god! It's 10 minutes of Clem just dominating the income graph, guys. Oh my god. Sometimes by 1,400 resources a minute. That is insane. The units lost tab is admirable for Zoun. The fact that he's kept it in his favor when you're this outmined and your opponent has this many more units to draw on, it's a real testament to his positioning, his Disruptor usage, all that good stuff. But oh man, he just lost too many Stalkers. His Disruptors were too far behind. Does he bait Clem into some balls though? Nah. Oh, there we go. Turns around a bit too early, does Clem. Takes a bunch of shots to the face. Libs are going to try and stop him from retreating, and Zoun is just too outnumbered. But that is a confidence booster. That's a game where Clem wins the game, but Zoun almost wins the mental war just with that result. Dragging it out to 25 minutes. You know this is going to be a good series from here. All right, well, he got the first game, but he had to work for it, and he got a bit of that trauma, that Disruptor trauma, as a result of that game. This is Team Liquid's Clem in the top left side of Game 2. Cosmic Sapphire His opponent in the bottom right, it's Zoun, who seems to be paranoid about getting eBay blocked or proxied. He's gone for a really early scout and has also been at the natural waiting for an engineering bay block. And this is interesting because I don't really see Clem as a guy who's going to do that often in a series. And yet Zoun is playing spectacularly safe. Now, Zoun was way behind in that last game, so I'm going to be critical and say, I don't know if this is the right way to play here, especially on Cosmic Sapphire, a big map where I would have expected Clem to be going for an expand. Now, Clem's going to pause barracks production so he can build a factory really early. And notice he's hiding the Marine so that the probe tries to come in. He should have let that probe get a little bit closer if he wanted to actually kill it. But by scaring it away, he does stop it from scouting if there's a reactor building. So Zoun doesn't know, is this quick factory or is there already a reactor that's almost finished at this point? So factory goes down, then the reactor, then the depot. So this allows you to get quicker factory, quicker starport. You can go very quick Widowmine Hellion drop aggression, or you could just, just go for a quicker medevac Marine drop. Essentially, it just speeds the tech up. The downside is you will not have 3 Marines ready when this Adept arrives, at least on a smaller map. On this map, it's not that big a deal because it's so far to get across. And oh, Clem's going to go Hellion drop. Okay, he's going to go starport down here. So he's going to proxy a starport here, somewhere where your opponent's very unlikely to check. So the factory just swapped, and he's going to go for a 4 Hellion drop, maybe followed up with Widow Mines as well. Zoun coming forward with the Adept. Now, he can deny mining on the natural, but the Hellions will, of course, push that back. So Zoun's Adept Scout's going to come in. He's going Stargate behind it, and he's immediately going to go... I wonder if he squeezes an Oracle out. I think going straight Phoenix is the safest play here, because this could be a very early 4 Hellion drop. Going an Oracle is guaranteed to do damage against this opening. You're always going to find a bit of damage. Oh, look at that. That's a really nice play by Zoun. Gets the Marine, and he shades away to safety. Really well done. The problem with doing damage with the Oracle is you might kill a few SCVs, but you don't know if there's Widow Mines, so you really need to micro the Oracle very hard. On the other side, a 4 Hellion drop will kill your entire mineral line in about 3 seconds if you don't have enough Phoenix to defend. So I think this is a very wise way for Zoun to play. Just making a shield battery on the natural as well, which helps him wall off. He's got 3 Adepts to deal with them, and he's got Phoenix coming out right now, which you can see he's kind of just patrolling his base to make sure he doesn't die. Now, there is actually a little bit of shadow on the backside of the natural where you can unload Hellions, and I don't know if I've seen someone abuse that before, but this seems like the least area you'd worry about. Look, he's putting pylons to spot his main. He's really worried about that. Zoun doesn't know about this 4 Hellion drop. This could be a lot of damage. He builds the gases, but the probe pulls back. There we go. Hellions are in. Oh, Zoun, quick pull though. Very quick pull, and he goes towards the battery, which is very nicely done. Phoenix are going to pick up as many of these units as they can. Oh, he gets 4 probes. Can he get 6? Yep, 6 probes. Not too bad. And he's going to go in towards the main base. Of course, he knows this is a one-way trip. You're never getting out of there versus Phoenix. So it is what it is. The Hellion will... Oh, it gets 1 more probe, but then it does get tased. 7 probes is not terrible damage. This is acceptable for Clem, but it's also completely acceptable for Zoun. Now, the Phoenix derp out there. If you don't right-click them on the medevac, they don't chase it, for those who don't know. But if you do right-click rather than moving past it, they'll stop, shoot it. Basically, Phoenix micro really dumb automatically if you leave them to it, which is why Zoun is derping out a little bit on that. No 3rd base to recover, which does put Clem in the economic advantage. He's got 2 Cyclones coming out, 3 barracks, engineering base. Starport's going to build a reactor on the natural. A little bit exposed on that reactor. And these Cyclones, more than a match for this, man. Ooh. Oh, I like the way he double locked on... Oh, no. I thought he double locked on the same unit, which would have taken manual micro, but nope. 2 SCVs for free, gets on out of there. Observer's coming out, and now Immortal, soon to be Colossus play as well. Zoun trying to make those probes, and he's going to move out to take a 3rd in the near future as well, I would imagine. Behind it, Clem does not have a 3rd command center started. He is taking a 4th gas, but he actually forgot to rebuild this SCV, or task that SCV, I should say. Phoenix coming in towards the main. He sees no 3rd command center, and you cannot squeeze a command center in there on this map, which means he knows there's no 3rd CC. Ooh, Phoenix has to pull back. Oh, you gotta be careful. You don't want to lose these Cyclones. Zoun with a slip up on the micro, though. Oh, yeah. Picks up the Cyclone and barely gets out. I mean, a Phoenix for a Cyclone's okay, but taking so much damage on another Cyclone, a bit of a bummer. I think if he was a bit quicker on that micro, might have been able to even kill both Cyclones. Despite that, Colossus are coming out. Twilight Council coming out. Starts another Twilight Council, realizes that he's already got one and cancels it. Zoun's a bit shaky here. Down a game. looking down the barrel of a big stim bio push, and he's feeling a bit uncomfortable. Now, Clem does start a third command center, and another game where the observer's seeing a lot of stuff. Clem's got to be wary of this. Zoun's not being sneaky. He's just setting it up right in vision. And obviously, Clem's playing on lower graphics, so this should be much easier to see. For me, my graphics settings, that's impossible because of this shiny stuff behind it. But for Clem, that should be much more visible for him. Phoenix going to pick off 1 Marine, 2 Marines. Very nicely done. Good use of the Phoenix there. Just getting a little bit of value. But notice how he's only built 3 Phoenix, or 4, including the one that he lost. So Zoun is not committing to mass Phoenix. He's actually just going to be going for nice Widowmine pickoff, a swap into Charge Arc on Colossus, and then Blink right after that as well. But Clem is miles ahead on the production, and if he can find a way to just basically force a fight at the right time, he'll have so many more units that Zoun will be screwed. Now, Clem doesn't know about the third down there. That's why the denial on that Widowmine is so important. Zoun has made it look like he's playing a 2-base style. Clem really needs to go scout for that third. He's going to send a Widowmine drop to do just that. Observer's being pulled back. Zoun is so starved for Robo production time, he needs the third Colossus. Just going to try and pull that Observer back. Phoenix do get pushed back. They're going to be important for shutting down this Widowmine drop, especially if they go and get in position down there. Few Zealots warping in. Charge is going to be done in about 20-30 seconds. Army just scaring him at the front. Widowmine drop comes in, and it has been spotted, so he's going to pull back for now. I like the way Clem's not forcing the issue. He's got the third base up now. He's got 5 barracks just pumping bio away. The last tech lab and reactor building on those. The medevac count is about to be up on 6. Clem has so much more army, though. I really think there was no way for Zoun to defend this third base. And I still think there's almost no way. If he just comes in from this angle, depowers the battery, it's game over in a head-to-head fight. Ooh, the Widowmines do burrow. I'm not sure what they took out. Looks like they took out 2 Phoenix. But Zoun has actually gone back to building Phoenix, even though he was focusing on ground tech for a while. Cleaning that up, an important thing to remove some threat from the board. And now Clem's going to do some multi-prong. I think we're going to see a Doom drop in the main, and then we're going to see these guys try and hit this third mineral line. Zoun's struggling to track where the army is. 1 observer on the front lines. He's also got another observer trying to get vision out here. He's about to spot where that army is, but he's also about to see a double drop coming in the back at the same time. Great pull by Zoun. Very good reaction. Only loses 1 probe. The Widowmines are going to cause some problems, but nothing too big. Just a couple of Zealots going down. Oh, I like that. Nice retargeting by Clem, being a bit of a nuisance here. Finally does take it out. The bio army up here. Is he going to just drop into that? And Clem's got such a supply advantage for so long, but he's not building a 4th command center. No second starport. There we go. 4th command center goes down now. It feels like Clem could have just committed harder to kill Zoun at some point, right? I don't think I'm alone in this assessment. I'm curious because there's many different ways to play StarCraft. It's never like there's a right or a wrong way, but there is sometimes an easier way, right? Just going and killing your opponent, usually the easier way. For me, I feel like when you're ahead of your opponent, I want to see you take a sharp edge. Whether that be committing harder to the macro game than normal, or maybe it's committing harder to the aggression to kill your opponent. I like still playing strong strategic StarCraft, where you're like, okay, everything into the aggression, bam, go to a big attack, try to kill the third, and then go up. Or you know what, take the earlier 4th. It feels like Clem is playing a little bit middle of the road right now, and that in itself isn't bad. He maintains a lead, but the longer this game goes, that lead it'll grow smaller the longer the game goes. And once they both max out, that lead will amount to very little. So it's really on Clem to utilize this army advantage when it means something. And so far, he has not shown a way of doing it. It is Cosmic Sapphire, so in his defense, it's really hard to force a fight. It's a big map. It's a really big map. And throwing your army into a headbutt into 4 disruptor shots, we saw what that got Clem in that last game. So we might naturally be a little bit more cautious after that. The observers are doing a really good job for Zoun. I love his placement. He's got these 3 tactical observers. He's camping very well. He's delaying his 4th base. He's finally going to try and take it. Oh, Colossus in the open. Oh, okay, good quick cancel for Zoun at least. Dude, this is not a big army. Those guys are very exposed. I feel a little worried that he doesn't have any more Zealots with them. He's got force fields though, and there's no ghosts there just yet. Ghosts coming in on the left. The rocks are starting to get taken down. But Clem is gathering his whole army for 1 fight. And this is where he got in trouble in that last game. Was when he tried to gather the whole army together. When he stopped split pushing and said everything's going to attack right here, right now. Oh, battery overcharge goes off. The Archons get some big hits, and a full energy Ghost goes down. Nice defense so far for Zoun, but battery overcharge is being baited out. He's not going to have it for the next fight, and now Clem is grouping everything. Ooh, okay. 2 disruptor shots have been dodged, but there is more where that came from. Ooh, he gets the third one before the shot can complete. I don't think there's any disruptor shots left in the back, but Clem's very clumped up, and that is an issue. The Colossus, one of them falls, another one falls. The Viking's doing pretty good. Ooh, oh, third Colossus is still alive. This trade going well in Zoun's favor. The way Clem's stacking up on this corner, I really don't like, because he's got the shorter ranged army, and they're going to clump up for the splash damage. It's a big issue. You've got to try and fight in the open a little bit more where your small units aren't as clumped. So very good fight so far for Zoun. Now more command centers are coming in. I think Clem has got a good economic lead, and he's mixing in a Liberator, Vikings. He's adding +3 weapons. He's definitely way ahead here. Zoun has got +2 on the way, but he did not start +2 armor. He thought he did because he chrono boosted it. You can tell Zoun is just frantically trying to survive. He's got a 5th base started here. He's up to how many disruptors? Is it 5 disruptors? And I don't know. Yeah, I think Clem has to go lib range now. Lib range really opened things up for him in that last game. I'd love to see it again here. And no Colossus on the field, but he's got 6 Vikings, which are pretty much dead weight. They will at least beat the Phoenix, so that's something for them to do. But landing those Vikings is never a very efficient usage for them. We've got 3/3 upgrades plus 2 ship weapons coming in for Clem. Oh, Zoun's ready to fight. This is a small army for Clem, and a very good choice to just run away. And he's got to get the rest of his army here. Where is the rest of his army? Clem's fighting with a small section of units. The rest of his army finally decides to join the party. Oh man, it took him a while to bring those units over though. I mean, the advantage of microing small numbers of units is that they do not clump up as much for disruptors. 5 probe kills there with the Liberator before Zoun cleans that up. The units lost tab getting a little bit closer there. 1,500 resources in favor of Zoun. Zoun's got a 5th base coming up though. He's just going to be playing 6 gas for now. Oh, disruptors! He left his disruptors behind. That is a problem. Loses 2 of them. Oh, but Clem's chasing way too far now. Clem eats some big disruptors there. Gets a few of the disruptors killed. But overall trade's very good for Zoun. Zoun may be hugging that 70 work account, which doesn't sound very impressive. But if he keeps trading very well, and he has the army to beat Clem away from his side of the map, then Zoun can fight back in this game. And as we said in game 1, you can be ahead all you want. If you can't finish the game, eventually those disruptors will find value. Eventually the early advantages disappear. And right now we're looking at 2 maxed out armies. The only real tangible lead here is the upgrade advantage for Clem. Lib range coming in will change things and I think cause some very big issues for Zoun. And I think these are good trades. Whenever he just gets the zealots like that, that's pretty good for Clem. How many medevacs? 6 medevacs. Careful. Careful, guys. 6 medevacs is not enough to heal this much bio. So Clem's playing a dangerous game. His Marauders are already double stimmed. Notice they're 85 or 95 out of 125 hit points for most of them. Which means they will get annihilated if he keeps stimming like this. He can't keep dancing on the edge unless he's got about 10 medevacs. New Liberator comes in, gets a single probe, dances around, nicely done. Gets a few Stalkers there. Good trade for Clem. But the longer this drags out, the more the bio gets wounded. And then in a pitched battle, they're going to die to Zealots, Archon, Stalkers. Bio Lib in the top side, going to try and defend. The Planetary is going to come up. This looks like a pretty good fight for Clem. And indeed, he does hold it off very well. The Phoenix does take out that Liberator. Not before it gets another probe, though. I feel like with a 5-base setup as Terran, you've got way more income. And you are winning this game as Clem. You're looking fantastic. 11,500 resources lost to 10,300. He's closing the units lost gap while maintaining an upgrade advantage and a tech advantage. And even going for, is that a 3rd starport? Yeah, he's got 2 starports with a 3rd one building. Whoa, Zoun ventures forward. Clem's got to get out of there. That's a lot of disruptors. That is 9 disruptors. And Zoun, I think, is going to want to wedge himself between the bases like he did in the last game. And just keep Clem away with those disruptors. Colossus doing some good laser beams across that cliff. Clem, he's going to bring his whole army down here. Where are his Vikings and Libs? He's got 8 Libs and 2 Vikings. Those Zealots going to take out the Vikings, which are still in landed mode. EMP on the army, making it hard. Zoun, he's going to get flanked. Watch out. Clem's going for the flank. He's moving down that right side for the flank. Libs are going to come in and do a big old siege. Stalkers blinking there. Could have picked a few of them off. but Zoun in full retreat right now. Disruptors venturing forward. A few of these disruptors do land. A crazy fight. He's got to pull back from the lib zones, but not before a few big disruptors do land. Clem avoiding the worst of it though. Clem's trying to shove forwards. A crazy push for Clem. The way he's unsieging all of his libs at once, stimming his whole army, EMPing at once. It's a very, very messy fight, but Clem has the numbers, and he's going to be able to push through and take out so many of those units. Just the intensity of this push. Oh, dude. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. He's really avoiding the worst of those disruptors. Oh, and as I say it, oh no, he gets him. That time he had enough bio to one-shot the disruptor. Battery overcharge doesn't matter if you shoot that disruptor with 15 marauders at once. His bio might be bruised. It might be a little worse for wear, but with that many libs, he's doing some good damage. The stalkers come in from behind, but they get smashed by marauders and EMP. Remember, those stalkers get 4 shot by the marauders. Once they've been EMP'd, they get 2 shot by the +2 libs. And that is why Zoun cannot hold up to this. Clem may have taken longer to finish this game than I liked, but you look at the way he finished this one, way more clinical than the last game, and you see why he plays so patiently, because he is confident in playing the long game. And all of my doubts were answered in this game. Was his confidence hit? Does he feel like he can't quite do it? No. He once again played a very clean, solid early to mid game, got himself a lead, and just worked it through every stage of the game. A player who's not as confident in a very standard, straight up normal game going through the motions, I criticized for not finishing it. In this case, I was criticizing Clem, and he said, nope, those criticisms are unjustified, Piggy, because I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not going to give him a chance to get back in it. Nice plays here. Just rallying to the front. The Liberators are tearing everything apart. I wouldn't mind that Liberator sieging on the mineral line instead. One lib goes down, but scrambling out here to deal with the libs means the bio get good trades. And anytime the Stalkers are dying, it's terrible for the Protoss player. That's one of the big things about PvT for both sides you got to understand. If the Stalkers are dying, it's very bad for the Protoss player. You can trade Zealots all day, but those Stalkers are expensive. Clem takes a 2-0 lead. All right, well, he's up 2-0, and he is looking rock solid. As I said, he varies his opening, and then he just plays no special sauce. Clem is such a normie in TvP. It's like, cool Hellion drop opening with proxy starport, and then he's just like 3 barracks into 3rd command center, into a 4th command center, bio ghost, move around, likes to just dodge the disruptor shots and force the fight slowly and efficiently. He's a beast. There's a reason why he's playing for Team Liquid. For those who don't know, he also, this is his pet polar bear dog. It's a polar dog. He rides it, often says yip yip. I see him rock up to tournaments. Does have issues parking it. Usually tournaments don't cater for that. Very rare to have a stable at tournaments, but something we've been working on specially for Katowice, so he's able to fly in there from France. His opponent in the bottom left side, Zoun, of course, is going to be going Cybercore into Nexus and a Probe Scout. Once again, playing exceptionally safe is Zoun. Now, Zoun's been behind 2 games in a row, and he's changing nothing, and I kind of hate it. I feel like if he just goes Nexus before Core, he gets away with it. If he doesn't Scout, he gets away with it. He could go Gas before Gateway. Like, I understand you don't want to take too many risks, but if you're down 0-2, I'll go, come on, Zoun, take some risks, because I don't see, with the way these 2 games have gone, you winning by just playing completely stock standard safe play. Like, if anything, it's Clem where, hey, nothing's broke, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, just keep playing solid standard StarCraft. You're the one who's winning the solid standard games, so don't change anything. It makes sense for Clem to do exactly what he's been doing so far, and that's what he's doing. He's doing, once again, the Marine into the Quick Factory, similar to that last game. Doesn't look like he's going to proxy this game, though. I wouldn't imagine so. And he's building the bunker, which means I think we'll see maybe a single Hellion for a scout and just Marines pumping 2 at a time. Likely to see either a Widow Mine drop or a Marine drop plus some Widow Mines running in. But no, he is actually going to swap it around. Oh, he's doing the same build again. Oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it indeed. Oh, okay. Okay. Wow, interesting. He's going to do the exact same build order. Wow. You know, is that this tournament HomeStory Cup where Beyond revealed the powerful Marauder Hellbat all-in this matchup? Open up with a single proxy Reaper and then start pumping Marauders out of the proxy, and you boost in and try to depower this pylon. So I feel like that would be kind of great here. On the other hand, once again, Zoun Scouts goes Phoenix. I'd like to see Chronos in those Phoenix, so really important to get out 2 or 3 Phoenix as quickly as possible. He's only got 2 Adepts, but 3rd one is building. So as long as you have 3 Adepts, they kill Hellions very quickly. A Hellion has 90 hit points, And in the Adeptos, I think it's 22 damage to light. So 5 Adept shots, or 4 Adept shots and a single hit from a probe will get it done. Phoenix also do double damage against those Hellions as well. Now, it looks like he's just going to do the Swapperoonie. Similar opening to last game. You can now pump Marines and Cyclones to get some solid units out to defend any counterattack. And can start going to those extra barracks as well while the Starport floats home. Phoenix coming out, finds the medevac, but oh, he's not watching Zoun, get back! Oh, okay, the Adepts are on it though. The Adepts are on it, the second Phoenix is here. And I think this is all right for him. The Phoenix aren't going for the lifts just yet. He lifts one of them. Oh, that Hellion still being alive though. Okay, oh, 4 probes. Can he get a 5th one? It looks like only 5 probes will go down. He gets a 6th one. Does Mr. Clem. And he wants to go back for the damaged probes. I actually think in that scenario, he maybe could have gone to the natural. But in the end, 6 probes go down, which is pretty good damage, especially because remember in that last game, Zoun was doing this Phoenix Colossus style. He seems very focused on it. I think the more important thing... Yes! Okay, so I was just thinking about this. I went to take a bathroom break in between casting the 2 games. And I was like, he was still behind, even though he didn't take that many probes. I mean, that's a big investment. Units lost type is good for Zoun. But the problem he had was his 3rd was so late afterwards. Whereas if you have a 3rd up, you can reprobe up very quickly. You've got to remember that for the Terran, the cost of doing this opening is the Starport has to float all the way home. So it's doing nothing for a long time. Big investment. Also, you've spent all your early minerals on Hellions, which means look how late the 2nd barracks is. The 2nd and 3rd barracks are only at the 5-minute mark, starting to get stim, starting to get more Marines. So any sort of follow-up 3-racks pressure has nowhere near the amount of impact. It hits way later in the game. It's much slower to get across. So as a result, even if you take some damage to this, you actually have a bigger window to probe back up and be greedy afterwards. And that's what Zoun's taking advantage of this time, showing a very intelligent response to the situation where he just kind of was a bit too far behind in that last game. And he's getting the gas at the same time. He's got very few units on the ground, but an Immortal coming out. And he's going to go Twilight Council. Has he got a robe? Okay, he's going to go Disruptor. Oh, guys, that's what we call the Ambush Ruptor. Okay, so he's getting out a surprisingly early Disruptor. He's got the map advantage vision with Phoenix and Observer, right? So what he's going to do is he's probably going to, say Clem pushes this right side, he's probably going to move the Disruptor down behind the army, come from a surprising angle. Or if he pushes through the middle, maybe wait behind the grass. Waiting behind the grass is a really good way to surprise your opponent. Now, normally you still go Colossus afterwards, but look, yeah, he's even rallying it to the front. Yeah, it's a sneaky Disruptor, that is, man. He's going to build a 4th Phoenix. Charges on the way. He's going to build more Disruptors? Okay, I mean, that's kind of crazy. It's not just against Clem where people don't go Disruptors early. They go Colossus. It's because all top Terran players are incredible at dodging. Interesting style from Zoun. Charge lot Disruptor, man. Oh, watch for the ball. Watch for the ball. Clem's watching. Good spread. He only loses 2 Marines. Quick response there by Clem. Like to see these Phoenix pick up those Widow Mines. That's the juiciest pickup you could get. Catches the Disruptor. Bit of a mistake there. Now remember, concussive shells did not get made. 2 Widow Mines and a Marine do get picked up from behind. There's another Disruptor here. He might be expecting Colossus at this point, but a single Marine goes ahead, sees the Disruptor, and that Marine does go down. Clem on the front lines, Battery on the far right, Battery on the left. And I think with the Immortal, this is a pretty easy hold for Zoun. Clem should not commit too hard in here, because you can't really run from the Phoenix if you overcommit too much. When Marauders go down, stims away. Ooh, loses a Marauder to that Disruptor shot. Good shot for Zoun. Another shot coming in, pulls his Zealots back at the last second. Disruptor a little exposed there. Concussive has started. He realized he forgot that upgrade. Marine Marauder Cyclone trying to fight it out. He's trying to bait him back here. Zoun trying to fight with these units, but he's already lost a few Phoenix. He's looking for the Kamikaze. Doesn't get a big Kamikaze shot. Only hits 2 of the Marauders. Despite that, it looks like he has the numbers to push Clem back. No, he beats most of Clem's army. Buys a little bit of room for himself. But this is an awkward situation. You're pumping unupgraded Stalkers right now, expecting a drop into the main. He expects Clem to boost in there. That's why he's moving so much army up. This feels yet again like an advantage for the Terran player, though. The French Terran, dude. 5 barracks producing. Equal workers. Yes, there's a lot of tech. Disruptors, Phoenix, Blinkers now on the way. But you're ahead on the upgrades as the Terran. Ooh, he's going to lose a medevac with a few units in it. But he gets a Phoenix for his trouble. And remember, just if you're at equal workers, it's terrible for Protoss. And yet again, I feel like this comes back to just how There was a lack of greed in the opening. So one thing is if you're up against this sort of opening, remember that Clem didn't scout early game at all. He didn't send an SCV or anything. So Clem's doing kind of greedy openings. No SCV scout, Marine first, no Reaper. And he hits this brutal proxy starport timing. If Zoun had gone Nexus before Core, straight up into tech, immediate Stargate before Warp Gate, all this sort of stuff, I think he has an extra Phoenix out. He takes a few less probe losses. He gets his third up faster. But it's something where Zoun needs to stop finding himself in this position. I think he's trying to play a far too safe a game. And I think either some big aggression or some big greed is really what the Doctor's going to order. Oh, that Widow Mine! That Widow Mine! Very bad for Clem there. But luckily, the Zealots don't finish it off. Disruptor's starting to clear up Widow Mines on the front as well. Second Robo's on the way. Zoun is stabilizing. The supply difference isn't too big, man. Second eBay Armory. Clem's starting to commit towards the double upgrades to go up that tech tree. Phoenix on the north side. Oh, not watching. Zoun loses that Phoenix. And that just removes vision, you know? It just removes a spotting unit there. I like it. Clem leaves a Widow Mine here. A little bit funky. Could come in useful later on. The random Widow Mines are annoying. There we go. Another Widow Mine just getting a Zealot, damaging a bunch of the other Zealots. And Clem's got an equal work account, which sucks for Zoun. But what does Zoun have going for him? Let's stop talking about how bad it is for Zoun. Let's talk about what's good. He has 2 Colossus. Extended Thermal Lance is about to finish. 3 Disruptors. 2 Immortals. That's a lot of power units that can really smash in a frontal fight, especially if they've got like a battery overcharge or something like that. He's also got cannon battery building at his bases. He's going to move some Disruptors out. What he's lacking is Observers. He's got a bit of Watchtower vision though, which is good. And he does see that there's going to be a lot of tech coming in, or economy coming in behind this. Oh, nice saves there. Clem doesn't take any damage. Picks up those Widow Mines at the last second. 2-2 upgrades start up for Clem behind this. Zealot's cleaning up a single Marine on the north side. Disruptors continuing to zone him out for the moment. And trying to go up to 5 Disruptors right now is Zoun. Building more Archons, more Zealots. Zoun showing an incredible ability to survive on the back foot here. The Disruptor does go out to that right side. 8 barracks are coming in. Second starport is about to finish here as well. Clem's getting all those pieces he needs to swap into mass range lib. He's got EMP enhanced shockwaves. He's got the +1 ship weapons. The only problem is he's not trading right now, and the supply is closer than it's been in the previous games. Units Lost tab tells the story, and that is, of course, Zoun being slightly more efficient. 500 resources there ahead. Widow Mines continue to be a nuisance here. Still a base there. 2 Widow Mine drops going to go down the south side as well. And Zoun will lose a Stalker, but he gets the Widow Mine drop. How did he know about that? Oh, he must have seen it from the Watchtower potentially. Interesting. Disruptor shot goes out there. 2 more Disruptor shots. Oh, Clem, careful. Don't want to back yourself up against the cliff there. 2 Colossus only. There's 7 Vikings and 4 more building. Clem's overbuilding Vikings. 11 Vikings is 22 supply of Vikings for 12 supply of Colossus. This is really good for Zoun. Zoun's actually more committed to Immortals, and Disruptors are his full focus now. If he even just leaves the Colossus at the back of the army and doesn't even bring them into the fight, they've already done their job. You don't need to get a single hit off, and you've already got Clem to build a lot of supply that's not going to help here. Gets 1 Disruptor. Good pickups there for Clem. Avoids the shots. Marine drop tries to get in the main. There's Stalkers on it, though. Zoun is not letting him trade. And Zoun's upgrades are going to slowly start to catch up. 2-1 upgrades are on the way. 2-2 finishing for Clem. Clem's got Mass Command Center. He catches the army out. The Colossus will go down pretty quickly, but remember, that's not the big concern. It's the Disruptors from behind. It's everything else. 1 Colossus still alive in the red. Clem does dodge that one and gets rid of the Observer. I think it's worth losing a Viking or 2 there. Indeed, 2 Vikings do go down. Remember, these Vikings are not the unit you want at this stage of the game. Fusion Core is about to finish. +3 range is on the way. And we'll see advanced ballistics in the near future. He's doing the dance, guys. Some people do a dance to try to make the rain come. Clem does a dance to make sure the balls never land. And it is something he's very, very good at. But where are the medevacs? He's on 7 medevacs. Where are they? Where are the medevacs? He's building 3 of them right now. Honestly, I'm looking around this map. I don't know where his medevacs are. 2 there, 3. Okay, he's got 3 medevacs up here. He needs those healing all this bio. He's splitting his army now, is Clem, but he's got to be real cautious of that. When you're stimming and dancing like that, that is an issue. My Twitch chat is off the rails. I don't know what you guys are talking about right now. It's a whole screen of people saying where and who. What are you all talking about? I think they're trolling someone. Anyway. Oh, good catch of a few ghosts, but he's getting sandwiched. Zoun needs to get out of here. Yeah, you don't want to walk into a sandwich like that. The Colossus are gone, but it's the Disruptors that really matter. He lands a decent ball on a few Marauders there. Zoun getting some good fights. Zealots run into the third at the same time. He's going to force Clem to multitask, hoping that he can stumble him into some Disruptor shots at the same time. Oh no, but it's Zoun who messes up. Oh no, Zoun loses a bunch of Disruptors there. He's got Zealots all over the right side, ransacking the economy. He's going to warp more Zealots in the main. I love this move from Zoun. He's going to go into the back of the natural now, trying to keep this movement going. Marine drop on that left side does get blocked. So many SCVs going down, 12 workers dying. Clem had too many workers anyway, so that's not a big deal in of itself. But Clem needs to pull home now, and that's a problem because Zoun will take advantage to push the front. He's going to go for the Fusion Core. Zoun gonna get the Fusion Core, denies advanced ballistics. Planetary on the left side gonna get focused down here. And oh my god, a Warp Prism, warping Zealots on the right side, has got in under Clem's skin, disrupted his rhythm. He's trying to rebuild the Fusion Core, but it's not there for a long time. 34 SCVs have gone down. The Bio will stim in on that right side. He stops the recall, which means the battery overcharge. The Zealot warp in becomes a slow warp in, so none of those really finish. Oh man, that is a disaster for Zoun, but it's a disaster off the back of him ruining Clem on the other side of the map. Clem runs in, takes out those Disruptors. The army's coming back though. Clem needs to go back and get his economy back together, and he needs to extricate this army out of this area. Clem needs to get this army out of here. He needs to do it right now. He needs to run this army away from this because that whole army is closing in on him. He's got to get out. Clem is still hanging out as if he wants to fight. The madman. Clem has a thing. I mean, I remember he said in an interview, it's a quote I'll never forget. He said, I think the secret to playing Terran at a high level is you need to be willing to take fights other players won't. That's exactly what he's doing here. A section of his army is facing off with Zoun's entire army. And so far it's gone okay, but I still feel like it's a very risky maneuver. Oh man, he's got to get out. He's got to get out. This is so scary for him. But the Disruptors are empty. He gets one. He gets two. Does he need to get out? What are you talking about, Pig? It's Clem. Of course he doesn't let the Disruptors land. He just bloody smashes face. He's just dancing, but he is very damaged now. So to be honest, he did take quite a bit. The Stalkers will take some damage from the EMP and the Marauder. He's going to pull back, which I think is the wise choice. Mass Blink DT on the left side, but he reacts very quickly, catches a bunch of those hard to micro both fronts at once, but he does a good job of it. Oh, this is so bad for Zoun. He tries to morph Archons, but he loses like 15 Dark Templar. Oh no! He does snipe a base. That's a good move. I mean, it's still though. He's on 4 bases. Clem's on 4 bases. I mean, Clem mined his bases out earlier with mules, but Clem's up 50 army supply. Clem is so ahead in this game. DTs are running in. I think Clem can just slow things down. He's going to try and force his way through, but there's still 5 Disruptors, which is an issue. More DTs coming in, exactly what the Dr. Protoss ordered. Liberators run into the Stalkers, and he's dealing with DTs on the back side while dealing with Disruptor Colossus army chasing him down in the front. That's a problem. That is a problem. He's also pretty much maxed. He's trying to build depots, but he couldn't build Bio, which is why he's got no units there to deal with that. Orbital is in the open, and Zoun is going to pounce. Takes out the Liv. He's going after the Orbital. Oh man, Clem has got to be getting thrown off here. His Bio army is getting worn down on the hit points. It's stimmed so much. There's still a DT in his main base, stressing him out right now, trying to demand attention elsewhere, but he does stim forward, gets all the Disruptors. There's only one left in the back. The Colossus going down to the Vikings. The Immortals are falling. He's over-stimming to chase this army down. He does need to keep it in his pants a little bit. Back at home, there's still a DT picking off SCVs. The Stalkers pick off a few libs and blink out. Great fighting retreat for Zoun. He's making every unit worth its weight in gold, but he is still down at half the army supply. He's still down an armor upgrade. Oh, he gets a bunch of Marauders on the retreat. Clem needs to chill, pull back, and build medevacs. He's got 8 medevacs. You shouldn't need to pull medevacs when you have 8 of them, but he might just have to. His Orbital survived, and he's repairing it. That is massive. He's dropping mules on that base. If he can secure another base, that's going to be good, but surprise ball doesn't catch him off guard. Clem's eyes are too quick. He's too good at watching all this stuff. EMP does take out that DT with a couple of shots there. DT's almost purely made of shields, just like Archons. And there we go. EMP's landing across the Stalker Archon line. He's a little clumped though. He's got to pull back. I like Zoun's choice to retreat there. Cover himself with the Disruptors. Let those shields regenerate. Those EMPs are scary. Oh, but no! I thought that Disruptor was gonna land a fraction of a second from connecting with Clem, but it just barely went down just before it was able to connect. Clem still dancing on the edge of danger on this far left of the map. Zoun hanging on to that. He's rebuilt this base in the bottom side as well. It's not got that much minerals on it, but it is still a mining base. He's continuing to warp in Dark Templar and send them across the map. Clem is going to float that base out to the left side again. He's still dancing over here. This army is heavily wounded. Remember, he may be staying in the fight too long. Zoun is not beating him in direct engagements. He's beating him by forcing him to stim himself to death and just keeping him from actually forcing the fight when that stim is active. And he falls back to the battery, the cannons, and he's going to keep doing it. Clem has got to keep an eye on the hit points of those units. These 8 medevacs are very low on energy, and especially if DTs or something blink on him, he's got to be careful not to EMP his own medevacs. That's a mistake a lot of Terrans make in these scrappy situations. Zoun, though, the fight in this man, the refusal to go down in game 1, he's showing it again here. Zoun is a scrappy fighter who does not give up easily, and he's going to go after that command center one more time. Another Disruptor rallies in, gets a massive shot. 3 goes, 4 Marauders go down. The command center may have survived, but 8 SCVs went down, and a bunch of those units walked to the Disruptor. Clem here looking for revenge, but remember, another Disruptor comes forward and he has to back off. And that is the constant battle on this left side of the map. The army is ready to fight now for Zoun. He says, I think I have the numbers. The libs may be sieged, but they're not that well supported. And the Disruptors are off cooldown. He's in there. Those SCVs looking mighty exposed. If he can't mine from this base, Clem may run out of resources. A couple of recall goes down. 2 Disruptors. They did not get recalled. They died before it was able to happen. Clem. Oh, balls, balls, balls! Balls! 13 Ghosts and Marauders to a single Disruptor shot. Zoun swoops in, drops Trow, turns around, and he turns Clem's smile upside down. That was a massive, massive, massive hit to the face. That was painful. Clem may have just lost the game from that one, man. Oh, damn, dude. Clem's got a new base going up in the bottom. That's going to give him good income. But Zoun's relentless. Zoun's going to push in and look for another command center. Clem cannot afford to lose another command center. And look at the way the Stalkers keep focus firing high-value units. Get yourself, if you guys get yourself a high-value man out there, ladies, you got to protect it more than Clem is protecting his Liberators and Medevacs, because those Stalkers, they're grabbing him. They're finding him out. They're taking him down right now. Disruptors moving to the south side, trying to handle this. This is such a crazy game. The DT backstab's doing so well for Zoun, but it was also just the scramble that Clem had to do to deal with the DTs, and the way Zoun has been pouncing on command centers during that has been massive. Not to mention the big Zealot Prism drop that came in earlier that set this all up. The Disruptor Stalker Colossus coming in. He knows he's got the army advantage, and Zoun fighting back from the brink of defeat again. What an epic comeback to keep himself alive in the series. Right, well, he fought back like a monster in that last one. Zoun down here in the bottom left, representing Alpha X like a beast. And his opponent in the top right, Clem. Oh, man, I think he handled some things pretty well. The Prism Zealot stuff causing him so much damage is probably the most annoying part of that game, because that was where it all started, right? The Prism Zealot came in, and from there he lost a base, and then when the DTs distracted him, he lost another base. So even though he was handling stuff pretty well, the moment he was distracted, Zoun took advantage. Now this time Zoun's not scouting as early. He checked for a proxy, which is still very safe, but I'd like to see Nexus before Cybercore. He's been playing way too safe up to now, and fine. No, he's still going to go Cybercore before now. I mean, the difference is, at least before he would scout for a proxy, and scout across the map, and go core before Nexus, at least he's saving a bit of minerals. There is a slight extra edge Zoun will be taking in this game, so I can get behind it for sure. Now, it's a Reaper this time for Clem. He's not doing the Marine opening from the last 2 games, and he will SCV scout just to check that there's a Nexus down. And actually, a Zealot's on the way right now. I believe this is a Zealot cancel build, though. I think this is the sort of build where you only keep that if you see a bunker go up in your natural. We'll find out in a moment, of course. SCV does come in, sees the Nexus at a normal time, and it looks like he's going to check for the Zealot, but Zealot gets cancelled, and indeed an Adept starts up there. I'm not sure if that was a reaction to the SCV or always the plan if there was no bunker. But behind this, Marine into Factory. The Factory's a fair bit later with this build order. Reaper's going to jump in towards that main base. Stargate's on the way, and at least seeing that would be useful. Reaper's going to back off for now. Builds a bunker at home into the reactor here. I'd love to see a 3-Rex get mixed in. I think 3-Rex is pretty good versus Phoenix openings, especially Phoenix into Colossus. It's really dangerous. Dangerous to go Phoenix versus 3-Rex. Clem going to just damage the pylon, force that Adept to the low ground. And since it's a Reaper opening, I think it's a bit more viable because you know the text later in the follow-up there for Clem to go Oracle first. But hey, he's been enjoying Phoenix so far. Phoenix Colossus opening, and it seems like Zoun's going to do that every single game. Fair enough. Probe looking for proxies. I think he's just checking for proxy starports. Remember, it's been 2 Hellion drops in a row so far in Game 2 and Game 3. That's very wise to just check for that. Single Hellion on the way. Reaper's still dancing around the map. Barely misses this probe, unfortunately, for Clem. The Urubu hiding there. Actually, sorry, not the Urubu, the Karak. I've been casting too many maps on those new ones where there's Urubu birds, but the Karak is the name of that weird dinosaur antelope thing. Zoun's going to build a pylon on the front. Interesting. Phoenix is just going to wait for the other Phoenix to pop out and then lift that Reaper. He's going to say, meet your maker. Oh, Hellion gets intercepted by the Adepts, takes some damage. It's a 3-gate. He sees the pylon though. Get those Marines in that bunker and you should be just fine versus this. Marines not getting in the bunker yet. Clem a little slow on that. Oh, he's not in the bunker. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. The Hellion does do some damage though. Oh, is this worth it for Zoun? I'm not so sure. And got a Cyclone and a Viking about to pop out, so there we go. Nice lock on for the Cyclone. Might get a bit of damage there. Just a tickle of that Phoenix's hit points. Behind this 3rd and 4th gaps in a Robo, but it's plan B. He wanted to warp in Adepts or Stalkers and go for a bust. He's not able to do it now because the pylon's been spotted. Clem's aware of what's happening. He's going to play real safe. Now, Clem has not really mixed any 2-base timings. I actually think 2-base tank bunker pushes can be very effective against Phoenix Colossus. The danger is, of course, if they spot it coming and get charge up as well, because then you've got Phoenix picking up tanks and charge zealots like just diving on top and overwhelming the Marines. But I kind of, you know, I question the fact that Clem has not mixed in any really sharp 2-base timing so far. And still, is this going to move out? It looks like he wants to go. He's trying to hide the tank though. Just look for a cancel on the 3rd would be massive. No, he's building a turret. 3 barracks are coming up. Clem seems just to be chilling for now. Cyclone and the Marines get in there. 2 SCVs do go down. Phoenix barely getting tickled for that one as well, so they're pretty happy with it. 48 probes versus 42 SCVs. Definitely looking healthy worker comparison. But remember, the Twilight's only just now getting close to finish, so it's a while till Zoun can support his army with things like Colossus and Charge Zealots. Right now, it's just a Sentry, 3 Stalkers, and 4 Phoenix. He has nothing else out there, and that's why he is very vulnerable if Clem had decided to push him. But now Charge starts up. The Immortal is almost out. We'll see a Colossus come out after that, no doubt. Clem, no 3rd command center started. He's building siege tanks. And they do have a little avenue to pop out there and move out of the base. Look at that. Phoenix clearing up the Marine. Cyclone gonna get a bit of damage maybe, but not. Nice micro by Zoun. Zoun's up in the workers ever so slightly. The big problem, of course, for Clem is that he doesn't even have a 3rd CC started. He's building lots of Marines, Marauders, tanks. And that makes me think he wants to do some sort of push this time around. We've been talking about how he's just not been doing 2-base pushes at all. And keeping that fear on your opponent's a good way to play. Oh, nice pickup. Saves that Phoenix. Just barely. One more tick would have taken it down there. More units coming across 3rd command center. It does build in the natural. There's a 2nd Immortal about to pop. Charge is almost finished. It's not there just yet, though. That's why you want to buy time here as Zoun. Those slow Zealots aren't going to be that effective. The Observer sees everything that's going on. Clem somehow not noticing this. And it looks like he's just not really wanting to commit to the fight. The Phoenix pick up 1 Marine. These units go forward there. He sees Immortals and plenty of Zealots with Charge potentially about to finish. He's going to siege his tanks up. He's going to commit to this. Okay. Clem, the brave boy, going to try and force a fight, but Force Field is so brutal on that ramp, man. Nice hot pickup, though, to get behind the Force Field. Saves the tank from the Phoenix. The Phoenix do pull back very quickly, and remember, Battery Overcharge did not get used yet. He can use that, put his Immortals up here, and they'll do pretty all right. Immortals smash Marauders and tanks. Don't do that much versus the Marines, though. Clem with a pretty committed push right here. The Zealot count is growing. One Colossus is about to pop. I like that the Zealot's getting ready to flank. He wants to get on top of those siege tanks from behind. Drag that Widowmine into do friendly fire. Ooh, and there we go. He gets it. Phoenix tries to pick up the tank, but it does get shot down. That lift also gets shot down. The Bio doing really well. Oh, one of the Immortals falls as well, but chasing the Colossus, not that good a call. The Stalker, last shot kills the siege tank, and Clem has to back off because he no longer has the ranged advantage. Zoun sees him pick up and move south. Well, the Phoenix are gone. There's only non-blink Stalkers. I'd like to see Clem veer around into the main anyway. Uh-oh, his tank is in the open. Time to get out of there, Clem. And Clem is going to just take out his Zealot. Loses a medevac. He's going to keep going? No, it doesn't make any sense. Right now, he's in a bad position with that army. He's got to pull back, let that third get up. You've traded okay as Clem. You got to be careful now. Zoun's going to send some Zealots across the map. Zoun's got his +1, his blink. He's swapping into full ground. Losing all the Phoenix is very costly. Good trades for Clem. But as Zoun, you buy yourself a bit of room. Good pullback on the Zealots. Really quick reaction there. Only one of them gets tagged by the Marauders. Notice Clem is trying to tag the other ones. Can he get another one? Oh, nice micro by Clem. He's going to tag. Oh, look at that. He's manually trying to tag different Zealots, but it takes so much micro to make sure you're shooting different Zealots. Oh my god, he gets 2 more Zealots from that insane Clem level control. That is sick. Observer chilling out in the middle of the map, sees the army. I like the way Clem's staying active on the map. He's got three. Oh, Zoun has 3 Colossus though. If you lose these siege tanks, this spins very hard in Zoun's favor. The supply looks great for Clem, but honestly, like if those tanks get jumped on by a Mortal Zealot, it's going to be really bad. And the Colossus ambushing here. Nice engagement for Zoun. Shaves off a few units, baits a stim, and pulls back. Colossus getting great damage on that Bio army. Very scary situation for Clem. He's only got a couple Vikings. Not much answer to the Colossus other than the tanks and the Marauders. And the Zealots in front. Zealots do very well versus Marauder Siege Tank. There's no answer for Mass Zealot if he can get to it. The Immortal does pretty well. The tanks do take it out. Oh, look at that. Trading an Immortal and some Zealots for every single Siege Tank. A good trade for Zoun. Unfortunately, the Stalker's exposed in the front. Disruptor does chase him back. Oh, losing a Colossus, an Immortal, and all those Stalkers. It's still units lost up in favor of Clem. Zoun has a 4th up, which is something. Clem's a little slower on the next stages of his game compared to the previous one since he's been so aggressive, but man, it's still awkward. 3 Stalkers, not a very good poking force. He's going to pick up one more time, but there's observers sitting overhead, and that's... oh no. Oh, Clem. Okay, wisely scans the observer and comes back. He realizes, wait a second, there's something you're normally meant to do here when you pick up and go for a Doom Drop, and that's actually scared Zoun into splitting his army. Oh, he could maybe dive on this base. Clem's not all together, though, and he's been spotted already. Zoun needs to get back up there right now. Those Stalkers need to get back up there. I think it's going to dawn on him that this is the whole army on the north. Another Disruptor shot zones out Clem, but Clem, sorry, he's going to realize Zoun is out of shots. He's going to move forward. The tank shooting from that right side, not reaching that far, but being very annoying nonetheless. The Bio shoving on in. Battery overcharge does get baited out, and he pulls back for now. Zoun hanging on. And that really has been this whole series so far. This is basically the first 20 minutes of The Lion King, except every time we get up to the point where Mufasa's hanging off the edge of the cliff, for some reason, Scar just cannot throw him off the edge. He's not just trying to knock his hand off, he's stepping on his toes. Oh, Clem is just too fast, man. Every time. Oh, wait, Zoun catches a full medevac. Nice moves. But yeah, basically, Zoun is Mufasa in this analogy. And Clem is Scar, and Scar / Clem is jumping up and down on his hands. He's hanging on by his fingernails. They're bruised, they're bloody, but he will not let go of that handhold, and he is absolutely refusing to die. Zoun is even going to do a bit of a push here. I mean, there's no way he can actually take a fight. But he can bait him into the balls! Gets a bunch of Marauders, 2 tanks deep in the red as well. I think he should have gone for the double tank kill instead, actually. But he recalls the Disruptors instantly. Zoun making some very brave plays to keep himself alive in this game. A Forge is on the way, a second one up there in the main base. Zoun's got 4 mineral lines going, man. He's building a few more probes. Yes, he's a bit supply blocked. Yes, he's outsupplied. But he's shown a very good ability to hang on. And the Dark Templar, the special source from that last game, he's not forgetting that anymore. He's realizing this might just be the one thing which can always allow me to disrupt him and get some big damage. As I say, that turrets and center towers being built everywhere. Gonna give Clem some pretty good map awareness. And Clem has got +2 attack finishing, but he never started +2 armor. And 3-1's actually starting. So you know what? The upgrades aren't looking too bad for Zoun. He's been further behind in the upgrades in the previous games. Still down quite far in the overall supply, but look at this. Sneaky balls, man. He knows where the disruptor is. Where the sensor tower vision is. He's staying just outside of it, behind the tall grass. He wants Clem to venture down here into his sneaky balls. Sneaky Nuts is a game Australians like to play with family photographs, but in this case, the only thing Zoun wants to ruin is Terran's hopes and dreams of dodging those disruptor shots. He's going to be trying to... Oh, Stalkers blink forward, get a siege tank. 2 siege tanks go down. I think that's worth losing a few Zealot Stalkers. Oh, okay, disruptors go flying and don't really find the mark. One on the south lands on a few Marines. Clem with some good spreadies, though, and he's going to catch a few of these disruptors on the retreat. Really, really slick moves there from the French player. The Stalkers grab a Viking, but it's not a good trade. Clem is still smashing face. And remember, 4 base versus 4 base. Terran has more workers. Yes, Zoun's getting a 5th up, but Clem is trading so well. And even when he takes a disruptor shot here or there, he takes out the expensive units of Protoss. He keeps that units lost tab in his favor. And that's something you do not want. Not when you're often down on bases or down on workers. That being said, Blink DT's coming in. We've got Zealot backstabs continuing to do the work. Nexus finishes, which means there's no way to save that. And only 3 SCVs going to go down on this base to start. Good micro for Zoun. Focuses him down. Brings that number up to 6. And that Zealot, no doubt, clapping, saying those are rookie numbers. We ain't going to be getting done with 3. It's all about taking your opponent's SCV balance and moving it from their account into yours. Matthew McConaughey Zealot, my favorite sort of Zealot. Stalkers, Colossus, Zealots are trying to stack up here. This is not the biggest army for Clem. And DTs are going in that are going to distract him. Ooh, but there's a turret there. Oh, nice placement on the turret there. Clem, he's only got a small army here. I think this can get jumped on. Planetary on that base is getting attacked. Scan plus DTs and Planetary take him out. DTs, they got a distraction. They didn't do the big damage, but there's a giant army at home. Clem is pushing with a small section of his force right now. He's going to force Zoun to engage him. And he's still got a lot of EMPs. It's hard to fight, man. Okay, Clem picking up and leaving. Smart, man. Clem, perfect timing, because he's got so much army at home. Look how many units he just had defending DTs. He brings those to the south. There's no way to defend both sides at once. Oh, this is brilliant positioning. Great understanding of the to and fro. Now, Clem, I'd like to see him break these rocks and push back in on that base now, because he's being spotted by observers. He doesn't know that. This army's about to get caught. He's got to siege this tank as well. Okay, Clem moving forward, but single Zealot distracts him. He's going to try and siege. His whole army jumping on this. Zoun catches a tank, catches a ghost, catches some bio with no medevacs down here as well. Clem does a second stim a little bit earlier than was necessary. The rest of his army's coming in. It could be a nice flank. It also could be an overextension. Clem's kind of coming in single file. And I don't know, man. The Sand People from Star Wars weren't exactly the primo military organization. Single file is not how you want to fight. These guys getting dirt back in. Clem with some F2s. Clem is kind of getting baited into chasing into this army. Uncharacteristic micro mistakes, and Zoun is quick to capitalize. Zoun is very quick to capitalize on that. Some great fights for him. The units lost tab still somehow in Clem's favor despite it. Clem's got a 5th base in the north. 5th base is up for Zoun. But I really feel like if Clem keeps split pushing, then I don't know if Zoun can deal with it. He's got 6 disruptors going up to 8, which means a single directional push is a losing choice for Clem. But if he splits his army up and attacks multiple angles, I think he can do well. Big DT attack on the north, 9 Dark Templar. The Bio Ghost, if it spots it. Let's go to Clem's vision. Does Clem see it? Clem looks up there, looks away, looks up there. He's not looking as the DTs come in. Let's go. The DTs are on him. Oh, they don't. Oh, they kind of jumped up. Oh, no. He's distracted on the bottom. The DTs do big damage, but the disruptors keeping his attention elsewhere. Clem realizes only after the DTs clear that army up. Oh, those dirty Dark Templar, man. Here we go. Big army coming on forward. Zoun is going to try to push the Mad Lad, man. And he's going to split. He switches it up. He sends the DTs to the south, the army to the north. Clem sees it, though, and he immediately blinks up north, or actually further away, with the DTs are going to go around, take a detour, come back in on the south a bit later than Clem expects. Clem is leaving a planetary there and a bunch of bio. A lot of bio. That's about 30 supply of Marauder Marine there, guys. That is a pretty big army. And here we go. Okay, disruptors shooting on forwards. able to get one Marauder. Clem's stuck between his buildings. He's got to spread around the north and south. Maybe even lift that command center potentially because it's creating a nasty choke point. But Zoun does back off. DT's coming back in on the south side. Tank and Planetary say no. Zoun quick to get out. But look at that. Look at that. The Warp Prism in the backside. He's got Warp Prism speed on the way. It's not done just yet. No doubt we'll get Observer speed after that as well. Actually, this is Gravitic Boosters. That is Observer speed. It's Gravitic Drive, I believe, for the Warp Prism. Liberator's the slowest damage output of any anti-air unit in the game. Massive EMP lands. Zoun is going to be a little afraid of committing, but the Disruptor's coming in. When you have this many balls, you can just launch. Oh god, he's even going to overwhelm the tanks. There's not enough tanks to kill the Disruptors. The Disruptors, he loses a few of them, but he gets all the siege tanks, which is massive. A lot of the Disruptors have gone down, but a big ball on the tail end. Nope, just a single Marauder kill. A lot of these Disruptors have gone down so far. Oh, Clem is way overstimmed. He's chasing very far. Bio is very good with 3-2 upgrades, but there's also 3-1 for the Protoss player. Units lost tab is in favor of Clem still. But these Dark Templar are just waiting for him to be a bit too distracted to the point where they can strike. He's going to try and blink across this gap. It's a cute move. DT's coming in behind. DT flank. He flanks the army with the Dark Templar. Oh, nice positional play. Grabs a few libs, a few ghosts, gets out of there. The Disruptors are constantly there on the front. I think Clem needs to do a drop or a Liberator as. He's got to pull Zoun's attention away. This is bare naked open. Bare naked open. Zoun has Clem pinned, and it's a big issue for Clem because if Clem has anything forcing Zoun to look elsewhere, he can't be so technical with this Dark Templar Disruptor usage. But as it is, it's Zoun who's picking where and when the fights happen. It's Zoun who's looking for the money kills, gets a siege tank on the right side, gets in, gets out. The old in and out, for those who don't know, there's a lot of young ladies out there who are still trying to get child support from this man, Zoun. He gets out quickly. They don't know his last name. Sorry, that was a bit crude, guys. Anyways, my point being, Zoun has been very good at avoiding getting stuck in a situation that he doesn't want to be. He's really been good at just not staying longer than he should. And Clem would love to have him just sit and fight into the Marauders and the Ghosts. It's not happening. Command Center goes down. Beautiful snipe on that. And that delays Clem's massive income advantage from continuing. And DT's on the north as well. Clem's going to strike up there. Disengagement there. DT's go in. Not enough mass repair. The Planetary falls. Great move with the Dark Templar. Clem goes for the Nexus. But guess what? The recall's going to complete. You ain't going to stop that one. Is it good enough, though? I think that's enough Bio Ghost to beat these units. And indeed, it looks like it might be. He's going to try and pick up and run an unnecessary choice. And he's going to lose the medevac so that he could have stood his ground and fought. Clem strikes on the south, takes out another base. If he can push forward and kill this base as well, it doesn't matter that he just lost 2 expansions because he's going to kill all of Zoun's. But the Liberators may get flanked here. Mass balls coming from behind. Clem dives onto the balls. He eats some big ones to the face. He does take out a few of the Disruptors. The Stalker's starting to get gunned down. The Liberator's doing fantastic damage. They've got advanced ballistics and +2 ship weapons. They are doing pretty darn well, but I think he ate a few too many Disruptor shots to the face. He's taken a lot. The DTs. Oh, the DTs are tearing up his rally as well. And remember, his income has dropped, losing 2 command centers at a crucial time. And Zoun maintains not very much mining either. Zoun's income should really suck, but his 3rd and 4th still have a few more minerals because he hasn't been dropping those mules. This is an insane game right now. Clem trying to pull back. The Liberator sieging up the Disruptor Stalker. Zealot Colossus moving forward. Clem is outnumbered and outgunned, and Zoun self-necromancing himself out of the ground. How many Horcruxes does this man have? He forces a Game 5. Alright guys, going into Game 5, and it's a map which I think massively favors the Terran. Clem down here in the bottom right side, and he's going for an engineering bay block. Zoun, he scouts early enough, so he's going to bring all 4 probes down to clear this up. Now in this case, normally you want to focus on mining minerals more than gas, and you want to keep probing. A little slow to keep building probes there, so a slight mistake from Zoun. And he wants to stop that SCV from continuing to build. He should probably pull another probe around. But there we go. Does a good job. Good micro by Zoun. Oh, yeah, giving him a little bit of free build time, but loses the SCV for it. Yep, Cybercore, 2nd pylon. I would really like Zoun to build 1 more probe here. I really feel like you can always go to 21 probes with this situation and then still afford the Nexus on time. So I think this is a mistake from Zoun to not do that. But either way, he handled the rest of it pretty darn well. Of course, Clem behind it has gone factory, gets a bit of the money back by cancelling the engineering bay, and I wouldn't be surprised for him to just go high ground command center and expand from there. Now, this is a great map for Terran, as I was saying, guys. And the reason why is because it's a very short rush distance. So you can just kill the Protoss with a lot of aggressive timings. It's also very good because you can build a third base in the back for free. Now it's 2 less mineral patches than a full base, 1 less gas. So it's only a 3/4, 2/3 sort of amount of total resources on that base. Despite that though, I still think it's definitely worth it. And he's going to go in Marines. Command Center on the high ground does finally start up here. Feels like Zoun's handled this pretty well. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I've criticized Zoun for playing so safe and scouting so much every game. Game 5, he keeps doing it, and it actually does serve him well. If he didn't catch that engineering bay as early as he did, it would have been a much bigger delay on his Nexus. As it is, you could argue Zoun has a slight lead here. Probe's going to move around the backside. We've got a second barracks coming in. All right. Looks like a more aggressive play out of Clem. Personally, a big fan of big marine tank pushes on this map. I think they are so hard to stop. Bunny looked exceptional with those up against Hero at DreamHack Atlanta. Some of the just scariest pushes I've ever seen, man. It's going to go 2-gate blink here is Zoun, playing ground style. And having a shield battery and some stalkers blocks any sort of marine cyclone pressure. Clem committing to this is such a risky move. It's so common for people to go for that sort of stuff on this map. Hoping to catch him off guard here. I mean, sacrificing 1 marine is okay, but he should definitely pull out. Yeah, run away. Good choice to run away here for Clem. And just exerting pressure without overcommitting, a very good play. Now behind this, we've got 3 gateways Robo. We saw Zoun play this in game 1, remember. 3-gate Robo gets his defense up, then adds a 3rd gas, a Robo Bay, a 4th gas, and takes a very delayed 3rd base. And that's good. If you're worried about a 2-base Marine tank push, it's a great way to play. Now Clem, he builds a Marine pre-Tech Lab. Oh, is he going to do a 2-tank push? I think he might be doing a 2-tank push. But the Adept goes around the units to scout it. Oh, Zoun! 300 IQ Adept Scout sees the tank, immediately should be connoring out an Immortal and more Stalkers. His Stalkers need to get forward on the map to start chipping away at these units as they move out. Clem is going to start moving forwards, but the Stalkers are already there. Blink is not quite ready, which means the Cyclone could cause issues. And, oh, careful, Clem, careful. You do not want to lose that Cyclone, mate. Does get rid of one of the Stalkers. He's already lost 2 Marines, though. Another Stalker goes down. Where are the SCVs? You need to pull SCVs with this. This should be an SCV bunker push, surely. He's not pulling SCVs. Clem is going for a bit of a weird variation here. He's going to shove forward. That tank needs to siege. Okay, he's going to siege the tank in the back. That's too many Stalkers. They're getting too much value, but he takes out another Stalker with a tank shot. Ooh, the Cyclone needs to pull back. Okay, SCV is going to start repairing the Cyclone. The tanks are moving forward. You got to be real cautious here. There's no... Oh, the Stalker blinks forward for the Cyclone and gets saved by the battery. Beautiful moves by Zoun. Zoun has lost a bunch of Stalkers, though, so this is good trades for Clem. But remember, his reinforce is not that strong. He is making 3 Marines, a Marauder, and Stim at a time behind this. So he has got a very good and very scary rally. Only bringing 1 SCV. Oh, okay. Tank volley gets dragged by the Adept. Immortal Stalker diving after the siege tanks. Oh, Zoun with the Immortal break. He's going to break out of this push, shuts down the siege tanks. That Adept Scout was so good for Zoun. It gave him the time to prepare for this. So many players are blindsided by this sort of push, but Zoun saw it with that Adept Scout. Very, very clever scouting. Drops a 3rd base. He's already got the 3rd gas mining. He's on equal workers, which in of itself is not great. But look at the units lost tab. It was terrible for Protoss at the start of the fight. You get rid of those siege tanks and it turns way around. Tank Marine Marauder there, shooing those Stalkers away. Now, Clem can just build a 3rd and play a longer game. He's at equal workers, and we've talked about how good that can be for you, especially on this map. Taking your 3rd on location is a no-brainer. Cutting a little bit of bioproduction to do that, I think, is a great move. But Clem's not building a starport. What's going on? Okay, so he starts a starport. Is he going to go Raven? Interesting. I think he just wants to build the reactor ahead of time so the starport can start medevac production. 3rd command center does start in the back, and a Stalker drop's going to come in towards that main base. There's a good pack of Marine Marauder here. Stim finishes. Careful, careful, Zoun. Ooh, Stim Marines can snap that prism out of the sky, but the drop on the low ground to force him back. Well done. And he's going to try and move forwards on the front as well. Okay. Good micro by Zoun. I like the way Clem's moving forward to make it look like he might actually be pushing out. This could scare Zoun. Zoun's only on 49 probes, and notice he's taking a gap on probe production. The Observer moves forward. He sees this army coming. Clem is not really pushing. This is a fake push, guys. He's trying to scare Zoun into playing very safe, but Zoun wisely swapping this up. He's got charge. He's going to go for a prism run by, and at the same time try and slow this down with Stalkers. I don't think Clem's actually committing, because there's no reason for him to commit to the push, because he's committing to a third command center. He's adding production. He's adding medevacs. None of that's ready just yet. He just wants to try and find a good fight, maybe, if Zoun comes too far out. As it is, though, he goes home. Unfortunately, as scary as that was for Zoun, Zoun's still committed to the Zealot run by. He's going to find at least 8 SCVs there. Make it 9, make it 10. Make him rain, baby. 10 SCVs, a delicious trade. The Observer sees the army as well. Zoun now realizes that's a fake, goes back to probing. He takes the gas. The Robo Bay goes down. And I think Zoun might even start thinking about a 4th base. On this map where this 3rd doesn't have as many resources, a 4th base is so much more powerful. It's very important if you can get ahead and get that 4th up, but we've talked about the short rush distances. We've already seen a lot of tanks out there for Clem. And as a result, a tank push could materialize at any moment. Zoun is going to struggle to feel comfortable finding those resources for that. Look at his vision, though. Zealots and Observers creating a ring. Zealot drop getting ready to go in the backside. Clem is going for his +1 armor. Hopefully he starts +1 attack, sorry. Hopefully he starts +1 armor soon. Second Robo and Disruptors coming in. No Colossus. Really? Wow. I guess because Clem is always so Marauder focused. And Zoun is just like, dude, I've got Immortals to deal with the Marauders. I just need Disruptors to threaten the splash damage. What? How did that Marine get in here? What just happened? Was that... Did a Marine just stim into the base and kill 2 probes? I think a Marine just stimmed into the base and killed 2 probes. What? Zoun didn't notice it straight away. That's hilarious. He's on a scouting mission, ended up getting 2 probe kills. Clem's got to be very happy with that. That was a ninja, not a Marine pig. Oh. Zealot will go down, gets a Marine before he falls. Obviously a good trade for Clem. This Zealot got another Marine though. I like the way Zoun's contesting the map. And he's going to come forward, look for some sneaky disruptors. Looks like the players had a pause when they were playing live. And lag, even when you're playing on land, does happen sometimes, unfortunately. Because, oh, whoa, 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 sneaky, sneaky, sneaky nuts. 6 Marauders and Marines go down there. Great ambush. That tells you there's observers watching. Clem should realize, okay, he clearly has some observers on my side of the map. So that's how he was able to do that. These Marines going to try and get that prism. Oh, he's going to get it. I think. Oh, he stopped microing because Zealots came in. Oh, Zealots actually saved the prism. Otherwise, Clem would have been able to keep focusing on another. Oh, no, he's got to stop fighting these SCVs, man. Another 10 SCVs go down. Clem shoving forward on the front. Okay, good tank positioning there. Yep. He's gonna look for these pickoffs. Wow, Clem really wants to shove here. He's got a 4th command center and a lot of bio upgrades, ghosts, all that stuff coming in. He's got a good position, does Clem? Is this the right time to fight? The 20 army supply lead says yes. It's a lot of disruptors though. As long as he keeps avoiding the disruptors, he'll be good. Battery overcharge gets activated. The Zealot Immortal coming on forward. Having baited out some charges, that's a very good start for Clem. But remember, he doesn't heal as fast as that battery does. He's got more units coming though. Widow Mines, all this sort of stuff are going to rally up to this side. Another disruptor shot gets barely avoided. Pulls in, pulls out. Clem trying to bait the shots, trying to get the fight. Zoun might have to just go for it. He's going to do it. Okay, Clem. Oh, the Widow Mines. 3 Widow Mines and a tank go down to 1 disruptor shot. Great shot there for Zoun, who's out of battery overcharge energy. The Bio Mine starting to slay this army. Disruptor shots are coming off cooldown though. And a Colossus entering the fray. That's going to help Clem out. Clem has such a deadly position though. He's able to spread in this big arc, but 2 Colossus just popped. 2 Colossus and 4 disruptors in the back. It's time for Clem to pull out. He's got to get out of here. Yeah, great timing to pull back. He's got to leave. That tank on the right side is going to be left for dead, but that's acceptable. He can swap into multi-drops. He can't be hanging here though. He's got to be real careful. Looks like the tank's going to take out by the Zealots on the right side. 4th base is landed. Ghosts are coming in. And +2 attack is on the way. Now, does he have a 2nd engineering bay? He does, but he hasn't started using it to make armor. Similar to that last game, forgetting the armor upgrades. It is currently 1-1 versus 1-1. Zoun on equal upgrades. Supply very even here. Looks like a disruptor went down to a Widow Mine shot. Nice pick up there. Only loses 1 or 2 units to that shot. and a Liberator coming in the left. This is great play. I love what Clem's doing right here. But on the other hand, a Zealot comes in, gets 2 SCVs, more Zealots on the right side. Looks like they'll get cleaned up by the rally of units. Clem very well set up. He's really not taking any big losses. It looks like long distance mining the right side, which is a bit of an odd choice, I gotta say, because he doesn't actually have a command center going there, unless he's moving his main out. These SCVs derping around. Looks like he's trying to build some more barracks. He's only on 5 barracks, so it's kind of late for him to be getting up to 8 barracks this game. He was getting that very early in the previous maps, but it's been a scrappy game, an action-packed one. So you can understand why. Liberator's going to come in the backside of the natural, look for some more probe kills. A big nuisance for Zoun, but his Stalkers are nearby, so this time the Liberator will go down. And indeed it does. Only getting 2 probes there. 2-2 upgrades are going to be coming in for Clem. Double Forge is not up this game for Zoun. I don't mind that. I think as long as he just keeps chronoing, a single one can do pretty well. Widowmine does drag a bit of fire onto the Terran, but gets like 4 Zealots. Doesn't really lose much. Maybe 1 Marine. Disruptors come forward, clean up that bad boy. Zoun trying to get this 5th base established. Zoun has an impressive army supply. He's actually ahead on army supply. Catches a few bio units and a ghost. Clem needs to get those numbers up. Remember, the barracks count we talked about is not as high as it was previously. His 5th command center is now building, but his Widow Mines have been getting gunned down, and he hasn't really got any Widow Mine drops hitting Zoun. Zoun's not got cannons in every base. He's going to build a DT shrine in that main. Here we go. Clem a little bit separated. Zoun's going to pounce and take out the Vikings. That's going to open up the avenue for the Colossus and the Disruptors to do well. Zealots even coming in from the right side. Oh man, army coming from every which way. It's an absolutely chaotic engagement. But the Colossus Immortal Disruptor reigns supreme, and just like that, no way. Clem was a little down on units, but he was surprised by that push. And just like that, in that moment of strength, Zoun shoves in, and look at this army on the right basically just got minced. The Vikings got wrecked, the Widow Mines, none of them were in position to help in the middle. And you can just see that his army, he just didn't see this army coming, and then it's there. And look at that. You can't, he's already lost a bunch of the important units. The Colossus, especially with the Zealots warping in off that Warp Prism on the right, flanking that army. And these guys come in from the left after everything else is gone. Absolute devastation. An amazing comeback from down 0-2 and so close to dead in that 3rd game as well. Zoun, an absolute monster, and this HomeStory Cup run really was the tournament of a lifetime for him. Can't wait to see how he does in Katowice in the next couple of weeks, guys. Much love for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.